If this is you, it says stuck, but I just realized it is reversed. So if you're stuck and you can't make progress in anything, then this video is exactly for you, because in this video, in the next few minutes, I will show you the only reason you are stuck and why you can't make progress, and also the only way to really get over that stucking or get over that not making progress, so that you can finally make progress in whatever area of your life you want to make progress in, whether it's your fitness, like you want to lose weight or build some muscle, whether you want to find some nice feminine loyal woman, maybe you want to make more money, maybe you want to eat healthy or whatever. So in this video, I will show you exactly that. But before I do that, I really want to tell you a story. So we all know this feeling. We start something new. We have high hopes from the beginning, like, yes, this will finally be the thing that will change my life in whatever way you want to change your life, whether it's like, hey, this is finally the business I will make or get rich with or whatever. And so, okay, you start that thing, you have really high hopes, you have high hopes, and you're highly happy, highly enthusiastic. You enjoy that hard work the first month or few weeks, maybe. But after that few weeks or after that month, you start realizing that even this, in this case, let's say business model, is flawed and that it has some faults. Like, okay, you was a dropshipper in the past, you hated fulfilling orders, you hated like taking care of all the delivery and stuff. So you found out about, let's say, like high ticket closing, and so you started doing those high ticket closing stuff. But again, you realized that even that business model is flawed. Like, okay, now I have to talk to people who are rude, who are weird. Like, now I have to do this. So you realize that even that business model or even that thing sucks. And so you get into this weird state of hopelessness or despair. Maybe you push through for a couple of weeks, but at the end, you start looking for the next shiny new object, for the next new business model that sounds good and that will finally change your life. So you push through for a couple of weeks with that despair, with that hopelessness that maybe you get some results if you just push through, but eventually you just switch or get or hop after that new shiny object with high hopes. You're happy, you are like highly optimistic, like, yes, this will finally be the thing that will make me rich, this will finally be the diet that will make me more fitter, this will finally be the workout that will like create visible abs on my body. You come in with those high hopes, you're optimistic for a few weeks, and then again after a few weeks you hit that state of hopelessness, you hit that state of despair, and again and again and again and again, and you are in this circle for your whole life, never making progress, being stuck in the same place, and not even the same place but even further behind, because you're always trying these new things, you never stay consistent within one thing. And so you're stuck because you think that whatever will or is supposed to, let's say, make you fitter, make you leaner, make you more rich, is supposed to be easy. Like, that diet or that business model or that whatever is supposed to be faultless, is supposed to be without like like with no flaws whatsoever. And so you just like go through this cycle, always like fucking like, okay, start a new thing, be hope, like have high hopes, be optimistic, realize that it has some faults, quit, and just the cycle all over again. This cycle or this thing is eventually what I want to talk about today. I even drew this little graph for you just so you understand it better, as you can see. So I will walk you through this graph in this video right here. And the graph is like, or the full effect or the whole cycle is what like people call the Dunning-Kruger effect. And I will just explain all these phases because it has 5 phases, and you might have some difficulty reading it because, as I said, I just realized that my camera is reversed and that like you're seeing everything reversed as well. So the whole thing starts right here. So there's phase number one, phase number two, phase number three, phase number four, and phase number five. And I'll just walk you through each of them. So without further ado, I just want to start with phase number one, which is uninformed optimism. This is the part where you start that new thing. You have no real deep information about that thing. You only have information that is like it's only covered from the outside, like, hey, write things on your notebook and make money, like with copywriting, for example. So you only have that information, and you see, or you don't see any fault or any faults or any problems or any difficulties that this problem or this business model could have. So you only see, you're not informed deeply. You only have the outside info, like, okay, like write or make money while writing words into your Google Doc or whatever. You don't hear that. You don't know the problems with outreach or the problems with client acquisition and stuff. You only have that outside information. So you're in a phase that is called uninformed optimism. It sounds good. You're really excited because hey, come on, I do not have to fulfill orders. What I only have to do is write things into a Google Doc, into my notebook, into my laptop. So you are uninformed, you're happy, you're optimistic, and so you start this thing. And after a few weeks, you start realizing that fuck it, even this thing has some faults. It's not perfect. I have to do all this client outreach, I have to look for prospects, I have to learn how to write the copy. It's not easy. I just can't write random words into the Google Doc and stuff. So you get into phase number two, which is right here where my index finger is, which is called informed pessimism. And informed pessimism is eventually what I have already mentioned at the start of this video and just a second ago, is the point of realization that even this new thing has some kind of problems, that is not perfect. You are more informed about that thing. You found out about hey, I have to do this client outreach, I have to do, or I have to do, like, I have to eat like this, or I have to train like this. Everything will have some kind of point of it, or part of it, that is not going to be ideal to you. And that is the point. You cannot have good things without some hardships through it, you know? And many people get this wrong, and they think hey, okay, I see this next shiny thing, I have it's called the uh, grass is greener on the other side syndrome or whatever. And that is eventually the fact that, okay, I do one thing and I see other people doing the other thing. It looks problem free, it looks faultless, it looks like there is no problem whatsoever on the other side. So you think that the other side, the grass on the other side, is greener. And this is why most people, and even you and even I, was stuck in, or stuck because of. So that is eventually, or essentially, part or phase number two. It's the informed pessimism, where you realize that even the new path has some kind of problems, and so you slip into what is called the valley of despair. Is the little dot right here. And that is eventually the point where you are in despair, where you feel hopeless, where you are considering new ways to hit your goal. Okay, so the next diet, okay, I was a vegan, let's be a carnivore, whatever, you know. You are eventually looking for the greener grass, if you understand me. And there's really much to talk about here, except the fact that you have two options or two decisions to make. But I would go with the word options. You have two options to do, or two options to choose from, and it will really decide whether you will make progress, whether you will finally win and see some success. Let's say finally see some abs, or finally build a juicier chest or whatever, or whether you will just start from the ground zero and just start again and again and just run through the cycle for your whole life, never making progress, being average your whole life. And I know that's rude, but I want to help you here. It's the tough love, you know. So you have two options right here. You can either, as you can see, those two arrows, this one says quit and repeat, and this one says push and win. So when you're in the valley of despair, you have two options. You can either quit and look for the next shiny thing to try, and basically eventually like repeat the whole thing again and again, because if you try new shiny things, you will just go through that cycle forever and forever if you just can't stick with one hard thing for like a year or for like years, you know? So that's option number two. You can either quit and go for that new shiny thing and repeat the whole cycle your whole life, never making progress. Or there's option two. You can either push through that pain, push through that adversity, be stressed out of your mind for some while, just go through that hard shit, like eat shit for some while, for years, maybe months, it really depends. And if you decide to push through, you are eventually and finally getting out of the valley of despair into the fourth phase of the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is informed optimism. So you were an uninformed optimist, you were an informed pessimist, you were like despaired, you were hopeless, and then you decided to push through, you become more informed, you become better, and you get into the fourth phase, which is informed optimism. Right now, you know about all of those things. You learn that hard things, like, for example, with some business model, let's say you want to build an agency, you were hopeless. Like, fuck, I have to do all of this. I cannot just like run ads or like do whatever. I can't just do this. So you become more informed. You get out of that valley of despair. You learn how to do client outreach, you learn how to build an audience on Instagram, maybe to get some like organic audience or organic like leads coming in, and you eventually become informed, you become optimistic because you know that you can make it through that phase. And if you become informed and optimistic about it, if you just push through that fourth point, you will eventually see success. You will actually and eventually win and finally reach that goal of yours that you have always wanted to reach. So in this case, I am talking about business mostly in this video because it's the easiest to talk about in my opinion, because like this is essentially like, if you're a young man, you have always, like every young man I think wants to build an online business, and people are just like business hopping. And this is really familiar to me because I have done this too. So that's why I'm talking about business, but this really applies to anything, whether it's like dieting or like cutting weight or like exercising or like trying different ways to like find a loving woman, whatever, really anything you want to achieve in life. If you can just understand this graph and put this into your mind and remember to never quit. I mean, there are times when it's cool to quit, but that's a topic for another video. But just mainly, I want you to think that if something sucks, you are in the valley of despair. You are like informed and you're a pessimist. You feel like, fuck, this is shit. And where you feel like quitting, where when you feel like going after that next shiny thing, I want you to just push through, and eventually you will become an informed optimist, and eventually after that you will win in whatever you want to achieve. So I will show you the whole graph once again. Take a screenshot, maybe it's really important. So yeah, take a screenshot, but you will need to like reverse the thing. So it's really important, and this is literally why you cannot make progress, and also how you can finally make progress, if you understand me. So this was all, and by the way, I want to tell you something right now. If you want to level up in your life and like dial in your fitness, nutrition, find the love of your life, build good habits, build a killer mindset, become the new version of yourself, then I can help you. Just check out the link in the description. I left you a cool link, and just click it if you want some help. And on that link, you can see whether you qualify for my coaching. So that was just my shameless plug. And yeah, take care and push through, win, and peace out.